Well, hello everybody. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. I'm No02, and I'm sort of continuing that this walkthrough, this walkthrough gameplay of Act-1, just to go over extra information that may have gotten missed, or things I wanted to cover or re-explain, and things like that. So we are on recruit mode.
We've secured Hope, but a lot of our people are still out.
Extra movement speed. Right.
Bring
So
them
this is
home if
clean
you
sweep.
can.
This is the mission where this is a great place to hold out. If anything bad happens and you guys are getting hecked up or want a safe place to fight a lot of things,
Go earn it.
look at this really long hallway you have here. So don't be afraid to retreat back to here.
Don't want to lose anymore.
On Nightmare mode, this is going to be the map where you're going to get ferocious mutations rather consistently. Keep that in mind. Again, right, when we have lots of open space and we need to clear an area out, pick one direction, left or right. Keep your back against the wall, left or right. So this is the breaker gas station fight, right? And this gas station goes in two parts. We have to get here, and we need to kill all the zombies that are actually attacking the gas station. They're typically standing right here. That'll then call a horde, which we just heard. I like to throw fire right there. And actually, just like to stand right here. There's a nice little corner. Most of this horde is going to spawn out of this little hole and from over there. And this is going to give you plenty of distance most of the time. It is foggy, so this sort of hurts the point. Plenty of distance to deal with everything if you stand in this corner, basically. Fighting the breaker. Important to note that these gas pumps are walls, but the breaker can't see them, so he'll try to hit you through them. He'll also try to leap through these walls if he's aggroed. I would like to have control of the breaker, but this is just a very generally safe place to fight the breaker. He'll try to climb on top of this truck sometimes, and it'll take literally ages to climb on top of this truck. And you can sort of always like sprint past him, because when he's in this neutral straight and you do this. So when he's aggroed on you and he's looking at you, and you just sort of do this little movement here, a lot of times you can bait out an attack from him and get him to smash the ground and leave himself vulnerable again. Beware sleepers. One important thing, these got me for a long time. Sleeper right here, sleeper right here, sleeper right here. Beware the sleepers.
Looks like someone left
In the playthrough, I talk extensively about how we can manipulate spawn points in the liquor store, because now it's the liquor store rescue. And a big part of this mission is actually just getting to the liquor store safely. Because typically in Nightmare mode, you're going to have birds here.
It's okay. Just being stupid.
You're going to have birds here and stuff like that, right? Sleepers will spawn in these alleyways. So just getting to the liquor store without triggering a horde event is a huge win. So again, just sleep. You can see these sleepers here. Sleeper right here. Sleeper here. There. Things like to spawn on top and drop down on you. If you shoot your gun by this fence, zombies will climb over the fence. Keep that in mind. Look at all these freaking sleepers. It's recruit mode. Sleeper can spawn here. Right, in all these sneaky places. Sleeper will spawn here. The sleeper over there.
Damn, you stink.
And etc. Sleeper over here. And this is going to be a nice alleyway to practice the leapfrog technique. Usually you can see lots of zombies here. Beware birds. Beware birds. But basically you can shoot wildly, aggro as much as you can, pull it towards you, and then you can run forward and take this space. The fog gets a little annoying here, but That's back for blood for you, man. It'll get you. I actually like this corner. If you really want to like take your time and clear this whole area out, I would keep your back against this wall. Keep in mind that things can spawn here. Basically, you just shoot wildly. Beware birds on top of the cars, and as well as police cars as well when you're shooting. Strategies here. I think cars have about 300 points of health. And then they start burning, and that fire will damage itself. So if a car's on fire and you shoot it more, it'll blow up faster, just so you guys know. But you can keep your back against the wall, clear this all out. As you can see, a sleeper. There are going to be multiple sleepers on this wall, and etc. And right there. Now, the thing that I needed to emphasize is, once I hit this button, a horde event will start. 2 to 4 hawkers will walk to the gate. The horde event, though, is going to be spawning zombies outside in this general area. It's also going to be spawning zombies inside. And the game director doesn't want to spawn zombies in our field of vision a lot of the times. So I'll just try and demonstrate it. We were sleepers at all times, right? But if we stand right here, you can see that zombies are going to be running out of the main part of the liquor store. Now the reality of this is, if we get inside the liquor store, we actually end up removing this spawn, because zombies are literally spawning right here. And zombies are spawning right here. Just out of view, just around the corner. So, in my playthrough, I demonstrated how you can use a grenade to blow up a path and sprint on through. Get to this corner, and you can stabilize in this corner. And what we do is that these spawn points that are happening inside the liquor store get pushed outside. So zombies, instead of zombies having zombies spawn right here inside the liquor store, we force them to crawl through this opening, as well as mutations, because we saw that tall boy spawned inside of here. So if we would have held out, if we would have chose to hold our ground here,
Well,
everything is spawning inside the liquor store. But if we push forward super quickly, and you can do so pretty safely with a well-timed grenade, we can then get ourselves into a position where 1 or 2 players is simply watching this right here, and you get the luxury of watching a tall boy slowly crawl his way into the liquor store. Additionally, we have this open space now to kite mutations around. The other 2 players can then just hold this choke point. And the advantage is we sort of reduce our choke point. If you're holding here, big wide open area, you can hold out on top of these boxes and hold this choke point here. But the zombies will path all around these boxes. They don't run in a straight line. A lot of times, too, I find that if you run in here and you remove this spawn point, I find that the game will actually spawn less zombies the faster you do it, just in general. So it's something to consider, something that you can potentially practice and make your life way, way easier for this part. And then you can just quickly grab all the zombies, or grab all the survivors, and get the heck out of here. And that's it. That's about it. You can loot all the stuff if you want,
See you all in one piece.
and etc. And etc. So that map is basically the gas station breaker. Use the gas station. You can use a flashbang, but I actually think it's really, really easy to fight a breaker in that area. You can use the gas station pumps as walls and block his jumps, and you can bait his attacks out by running past him and things like that. For the most part, it's pretty much free to fight the breaker in that area. So obviously you wouldn't be running the deck that I'm running here. I demonstrated, and I'll demonstrate here again, right? Memory and vigilance allows us to kill sleepers.
I need the
When you're standing here and you shoot your gun,
so use whatever
anything
you
up
have.
here is going to jump down on top
At the
of you,
moment,
so
it's
be
got more
aware.
holes in it than Swiss
Sometimes you can
cheese.
sort of just jump all the way
Seal
over
it
here,
up.
stabilize in this corner.
Let's do this.
But the path I take for clearing this area is very specific, which I demonstrated. Basically, you just keep your back against this wall,
There.
Board off the
climb up
windows.
through here,
What's that?
board the windows.
We're too
And sort of
late
as
again.
you're running this pathway, you're really far away from the sleepers a lot of the times. You can accidentally dodge them. Get to here. Sleeper here, right? Sleeper there. Sleeper here. Sleeper there. Sleeper here. Again, right? So like this path that I'm showing, very specific. Go to here. Go into here. Board what you need to. In training mode or solo campaign, you only have 4 windows to board. In nightmare mode, you have to board all of the windows. Back against this wall, clear this out. Then we can run over here, clear this out. Now we can see the staircase. Now we can see this sleeper over here. Get to this corner.
Over there.
Check for sleepers. Get into here. Check for sleepers. Board this window up, you can loot this room. And this is a great place to hold out in. Typically you can hold out pretty much right here. Kill things right here. If you get overwhelmed, you can then fall back into this room. Get even more distance and etc. So if you're not going to be... So if you get to this point and you know that you're not going to be able to board up all the windows before the horde comes,
Watch out.
hang out in this room for a little bit. Loot the room, hang out. Wait for the horde to show up. Once you finish off the horde, now you clear up. This is going to be the most sketchy part right here as far as sleepers go. So just keep in mind that sleeper can be right here, and a sleeper can be right there, and a sleeper can be right there. So like if you do this and jump, sometimes a sleeper will get you. And of course too, once you're on this staircase and you're shooting these sleepers, things will drop down on top of you,
See that?
as well as drop down from right there. You can see like there's a lot of verticality that the zombies will get. So you could, as an alternative, take the other staircase, but this is faster. So then I'll go here, and here.
Look.
Beware of sleepers. Sleeper right there. Quickly board this area. So now we have our back against the wall. You can
There.
clear this. If anything that's in your way. Over here, sleeper. Sleepers can spawn here. Sleepers can spawn over here,
Over there.
as well as
Look out. Sleeper.
up here.
Months of quiet.
This door can be typically alarmed in nightmare mode.
Rover 2, do you read?
Eyes wide,
Unusually
ears
large
open.
numbers of written approaching your location.
Easy peasy. So for the most part, you just keep your back against the wall and all that stuff.
General, the library's
Oh, hello.
here. All the Reader's Digest you'll ever need. Over.
This is Hope 1. Any
When it comes to
survivors?
this
Over.
part now,
Bodies. Over.
I see.
when it comes to risk
I'll
versus
send in another
reward,
crew to hold the post once things calm down.
this is a horrible
Right
place
now,
to fight and loot.
I need you to
Don't
get
worry
to the
about looting this area. Don't worry about clearing this
The folks
area.
there are in deep shit,
Just
and
jump
we
down
can't
together
afford
as a
to lose
team,
any more
put your
fighters.
back against this wall, and you sprint. Just sprint. There's no amount of loot in this area that's, I think, ever going to be worth the risk that you put your team at by trying to clear this whole area of zombies and mutations in nightmare mode. So just corner to corner.
We received a distress call
Right,
from
beware
the Haven
sleepers.
apartment building. Haven't been able to restore communications. Search for
And etc.
survivors.
I see the apartment building.
Sleeper here. And I pretty much always just spray that bush because a sleeper can spawn here and it's really hard to see.
We've got people in trouble at Haven Apartments. Get your asses there now.
A lot of times too, I just shoot this and jump down.
Boy, give me a hand. We need to clear the door.
And when it comes to clearing this place, I'll typically go right here.
Holly.
Clear that. The sleeper can spawn right there. Clear it. Clear that. Over here. Clear this. And then right here, sleeper can spawn right there or right there. But basically, we get to this point right here. And we want to hold out right here. We can stabilize right here because this is a straight line to us when we stand in front of the doorway like this. So we just chill here. 2 players can watch this door. And then the other thing you have to worry about is the staircase. And those sort of run a lot of the times. If you stand further over here, this player will pull the aggro from that staircase. So you can have one player worry about this area, or two, and etc.
What have
And I
we
find
here?
most of the time if you just hold out in the basement, it'll clear the objective
They'll be back.
for securing the hotel.
Did you see that?
And they just need to worry about sleepers. So looting all these extra rooms is a sleeper nightmare in nightmare mode. So just be wary of that if you're going to loot the hotel. Every corner can have a sleeper in it. Sleeper here, here, sleeper here. Like, literally every wall can have a sleeper on it. Sleeper right there. And basically you just need to slowly clear... You need to clear the hotel basically as quickly as possible without triggering an alarm or a sleeper.
Need to get back.
And then you're good to go. You can sprint and jump down. You can make this jump without any movement cards. Not an issue. Get down here. And then you're just running.
Incoming!
Let's do this.
Come on, get in.
And that's that. And that's that. Alright, I gotta be right back real fast while we load level. And now, when it comes to this point, before you buy
Buildings surrounded.
things,
It's like they know we're here. There's
recommend
no
that
way
you
we'll be
just
able to get
open up
these
the safe
people on
room
the
door,
transports with that many
quickly
infected
loot
around.
all these
Don't
rooms.
worry. We'll get you the time you need.
Pain pills and grenades and things like that, and money.
Bandages here.
Right. You can spawn in all these areas. You can just quickly loot what you got going on here.
What's that?
So typically you'll find some money,
The
find
bar's
some
got
grenades.
power or had, and a kick-ass
We don't want to
PA.
buy
Let's get this party
anything extra
started.
because you can no longer drop it down. We'll get our stuff, and etc. And of course, if you have money for a toolkit, that can always be useful here. Get here, shoot all the zombies, get down. And I would actually recommend, even if you're playing with players, or especially if you have bots, right? You can loot this area,
What have we here?
grab whatever makes sense.
We're in big trouble once I get the bullets. back
Typically
in
how
this
I
gun.
play this with bots, or even with teammates, here you can just run. You can even like run to this corner, like this area, to like stabilize the aggro.
Doofus! Before someone really gets hurt. Damn, they're close.
Just be aware in nightmare mode there is going to be mutations patrolling this area. 'Cause the other alternative is literally just one player can run through first, the other players hang back a little bit. So long as there's no
They're
hawker,
here.
you get over the wall. And as the zombies chase you, usually there's like a barrel outside, or you can run inside, grab a Molotov, or just kill them as they come over the fence, basically. But I just find getting to this point and getting inside the bar area is just so much safer. Get inside. We can set up our little area.
Hey.
So
don't
like
put this
to
in my
drop
bag.
loot right here.
Nice.
I demonstrated that when I play with bots.
Here.
I literally just stand on the
Sniper
Over
rifle
there.
here.
I don't need
On the
this.
jukebox,
I don't need
right?
this. I don't even know what this is.
When I'm playing with players, I hold right here. The player who's standing in this
There.
corner needs to have a good gun as far as killing lots of zombies. And the other player can have one player like right here, killing zombies at the window, or players right here,
We gotta stop it.
I got this. Damn, you stink.
and etc. I have to mute the game because of DMCA. And then you just chill, literally right here. And we can manipulate the bots, right? There's not a whole lot of new information here, but typically we just want to crouch push one of these bots if we can. So just right about right here. And then we're just chilling. We want this bot right here because she will spot, Mom will spot and ping anything that spawns through there. And like even as like the bots are like dying or are getting hurt, I'll like give them pain pills. I can chill right here and melee things a little bit just to give Mom more time to kill things. If it seems like any particular door is like getting overwhelmed or hecking you up, you can just pick a Molotov, throw it, and whatnot. And ideally, it's just we hold out here. The bots will kill just about all of the common zombies for us, and we just have grenades ready to go for when a tall boy shows up. If you throw a Molotov, you can see that's just about right there. You can cover this hallway and that hallway, and that'll also cover this hallway as well. And what you're going to be doing a lot of is just resetting up a bot to stand in this area, because if they get knocked back or pushed away, then obviously that's problemsome for you. Because basically we want a meat shield of bots. We just have a meat shield of bots to deal with our problems. And this, you're just basically herding cats for this mission, and that's about it. And I find most of the time this mission is actually easier to do with bots, because the bots will just stand still, kill zombies, tank a lot of damage. You can just throw things as needed, basically. And this mission will just be about keeping your bots in line and just resource management. And so I should like partially stop looking this way because the bots have this side covered. And just be aware too that you can't enter the Jeep immediately once you complete all of the bus objectives. So just hold out. You can just hold out here, remain stable, get inside the Jeep. Very, very simple, very straightforward. Totally possible on Nightmare mode. It's obviously harder on Nightmare mode, but still very, very possible to do. I'm probably not going to demonstrate the entire diner because it's just 7 minutes of repetition. The next map is Special Delivery. And this is sort of one of the maps where it's usually better to be quicker, snappier with your movement and you're getting around. And this is sort of going to be a map where it's going to be nice to sort of recognize where your
We've got more missing people. This time
where your like infinite loops are and things like that.
I need you to find their cargo and get it delivered.
This area we know pretty well. Great hallway to hide and fight in. If you don't know this already,
Generators out.
like you can shoot things over this fence if it's available, So if you get like a boss card, and if it's a breaker, sometimes the breaker will actually be standing in this area. Sometimes you can see him and shoot the breaker a lot of the times.
Check it out.
You can kill the breaker without ever disturbing him, basically. But now we go. We'll just aggro the breaker to the gas station. As you can see here, right, the breaker doesn't see these things. He jumps as if they don't exist, but then they block him because they're walls. One thing too that I want to know about these fights where you're fighting an ogre or a breaker or maybe a hag, if you have a horde attacking you while you're fighting a boss like this, ignore the boss. The boss is a tank. He's got tons of health. The DPS potential of a nightmare horde is going to kill you way faster than the breaker, right? So typically you just have one player whose job is to maintain control of the breaker, and then all three players are killing the horde. Alright, don't focus fire the tank. Kill the DPS first, and then focus fire down the tank. And this map is all about don't trigger the alarms. Don't trigger the alarms, beware sleepers, beware birds. And that's the most you can do. This map always has the mutated snitches card in it. So if you have bots, the snitches will just kill the bots will kill the snitches and trigger a horde. So just beware. Oh, look at that. I shot that. Now we suffer. But yeah, this map is all about don't trigger the alarm. Here's an example of how zombies were spawning here, but there's actually nowhere the zombies were coming from.
Nice.
So if we occupy this space, the zombies stop spawning here.
Friendly fire! About to get this.
And so because this map is all about like just managing alarms and not triggering alarms, if a horde does trigger, infinite loops are really, really nice. So one infinite loop is you can jump on top of this garbage can. And it's not a great place to hold out because zombies have to climb every part of it. And you just jump here, kill what you can, kill what's climbing up. And once you get overwhelmed, you jump over here. And the zombies have to climb up, jump back down, reclimb, and once you get overwhelmed, you jump back over. And you can do that in here as well, really nicely. Just super easy. There's a lot of angles to cover when you're doing these jumps, but basically, this gives you a lot of verticality advantage as far as dealing with hordes of the zombies.
Now I won't feel bad about
In my playthrough, I showed pretty much everybody, literally every spawn point for this crate. One thing that you can look for is a body.
Ammo over here.
There's always a body that spawns with the crate, so if this crate wasn't here, this body wouldn't be here.
Let's do this.
And that's basically it. The only spot that I didn't show in my playthrough video was this spot right here. The crate can spawn right here as well. And so usually the pathing that I take for this area, for speed and convenience, is typically I'll check. Once we get in here, I'll check here. I'll check here. The path I take in my playthrough video shows the path I'll usually take. If this door's not alarmed, you check in here. If it is alarmed, you can leave it alone until the very end. You can spawn in here. We check right here.
I thought we were gonna buy it that time.
And you can sort of see we're just keeping our back against the wall. Go in here. Beware sleepers in here.
Did you see
Beware
that?
sleepers in this room. You'll see a body right here.
You found
Before
something
you see
good,
the
or
crate.
just don't like me?
What have we
And
here?
basically the path I take is just keep my back against the wall. We just search the
What's
right
that?
side of this alleyway first.
A minute here.
Check over here.
Check it out.
And if not, then we go into here.
Gonna take a look in here.
Check over here. Check inside the bathroom. etc., etc. And that's this map. And then once you have the crate, you just kill the sleepers that are on this wall. And then make a run
What are we
for it.
waiting for? Let's go!
But yeah, the critical thing about that map is just going to be not shooting birds, not shooting alarm doors, not shooting snitches. Just, that is the alarm nightmare. Sort of a good map if you are going to run Mark for death. Kind of a good map to have it, because then a player with Mark for death can mark the, the most obvious or the most dangerous snitch. Your whole team can have a highlight of it available to you to avoid bad damage and things like that. Right, we're gonna loot up, do our looting up stuff, right? Heal if we need to. Grab our crate. Ideally, stay away from the door. You want to keep this door free of zombies for as much as possible. But here's the specific path that I like to take when I'm playing with bots, or if I want to do a little bit of speedy running. There's one strategy that I've talked about is leapfrogging, right? Where you shoot a bunch of zombies and pull them towards you.
Ready? I mean, who wants to live forever, right?
Another thing that you can do is you can run past the zombies to a place where you can stabilize. Whoa. Sometimes, though, they're just in your way. But I will typically run all the way over here, drop the crate. That corner where I dropped the crate is a fine place to hold out. But you can also hold out right here and kill that sleeper. Because everything spawns in front of us here. So this is a great corner to hold out from. In fact, once we get over here, once we get the team over here, we just go to this corner. We hold out here. We get plenty of line of sight to deal with everything. So long as you have grenades. So long as you have grenades. Dealing with tall boys and mutations, things like that. There's not an issue.
Need to reload.
Well, a lot of times too, at this point, your team has enough cards, and their deck is fleshed out enough that, and you have enough that your team can do enough damage with their guns a lot of the times. And so there's plenty of space here to shoot and kill zombies. Loot as you need.
What's that?
Loot can obviously spawn right here,
Supply crate, over here.
but also
You
in this
stink.
ambulance, loot will spawn in the back.
Come on, this
Get
way.
here.
Over here.
So in Nightmare mode, this door is always
Well, they're
alarmed.
done.
One thing that you can do is you can come over here, shoot, but then run over here. Because when zombies are chasing you, they want to take the straightest line possible to get you. Right? So even though we might be aggroing a zombie that's over here, if we aggro zombies and then run to this corner, the straight line for them to get to us becomes crawling underneath that gate over there, and then they'll come through the door and break it down for you. So that's really like, it's pretty easy to break down this first door with a zombie when it's alarmed. And then as you can see here, this is a great place to hold out again. Great place to defend from. In fact, I prefer holding out here than I do inside.
See that?
Loot.
Pipe bomb here.
Because when you're holding this is also a fine place to hold out in. Because this is an entry point, and then this is your entry point. Pretty good places to defend from. Just keep in mind though, if anything goes wrong here, and these zombies start to flood through,
but I knew we had it.
the zombies are crawling all over these cars, jumping all over you. They're taking multiple paths. If this area breaks down, this room can be kind of a pain in the butt to deal with zombies that are running all over the place. This is going to give your whole team way more line of sight. You don't need to split players, right, when you're looking here. Because once you're in here, you need two players looking here, one player looking there. So I actually like holding out there more than I like holding out in here. Because in Nightmare mode, this door will also pretty much guaranteed to be alarmed. And then just with any open area, right, pick left or right. Right? Just pick left or right, don't matter. Try to avoid shooting snitches or cars if you can.
Get it! Fuck off me!
And of course, the faster we go, the safer it is.
Damn, we made it.
Get that generator up and running.
And that was sort of a really nice example of just how generous the game director is as far as spawning things, because this right here is a spawn
See
point.
that?
This van blocks our vision, and the game is going to spawn things behind it. So the quicker that we can get vision of this area, the faster we remove that spawn
Over there.
point. Because if you get stuck right here and you're shooting things and you're fighting and you're shooting things, the game is going to keep respawning things just on the other side of this van. And you can get stuck in this infinite loop of just having zombies running at you constantly. I used to like to hold out here with the minigun, and you can set the minigun up perfectly to like aim from here all the way to over here. But
Oh yeah.
in my playthrough I actually demonstrated over here. As far as holding out, right? So this area, grab all the ammo, grab all the grenades, grab as much loot as you can. And I would actually recommend doing something like this. Something like this. And in the playthrough of this map, most of the zombies will spawn right here. And then they have to run all the way around this fence, climb over this, and then they run at you. So you get like a little wall here. Stingers and wretches will try to vomit through this wall.
Like that doofus! Or someone really gets hurt!
Or through the fence, but their projectiles are blocked by the fence. So you can aggro wretches here, and they'll try to shoot you, but they can't. They literally can't hit you though. And you can freely shoot them through the fence. Alright, so you just go over here, pick up all your loot. So I would recommend setting up all your barbed wire
There.
right here. Maybe a little bit right here. And you have basically one player run the minigun. The minigun shoots mutations when they show up. Another player is just shooting common zombies. The minigun player is just chilling. He's shooting as well. When a mutation shows up, the minigun player hops on, does his thing, hops off, keeps killing zombies. The other two players are just watching over here. But I'm serious, literally 90% of the zombies will spawn right there over that fence. So you'll have some stragglers here and there coming from this way. You'll see like the occasional tall boy or stinger will spawn over that fence, things like that. But most of the time, it's over here. So you just need one or two players who's keeping lookout, and they're just calling out, "Hey, there's things happening over here." Players will turn with them, etc.,
It's
etc.
gonna be fun, right? You got my back, I got yours.
So we literally just chill here. This is recruit mode, so I didn't gather any resources, but basically you'd gather extra ammo, you'd drop your ammo, run back over, grab more ammo.
Someone actually do that and then was like going around town saying, "Hey,
Right.
I'm shooting those fish in a barrel." And you know what?
And you should
I
see,
hit
right? The
everyone.
occasional straggler
Easier than you'd have thunk.
jumping
I
over
don't
this wall.
think that's what happened.
Bomb is broken.
Then our boy passes into
You can throw your
legend,
Molotovs
but
right
the
there.
phrase,
Pretty
"Shooting
easy
fish in a
peasy.
barrel" remains.
One player can stand on top of the minigun and you can sort of see things spawning.
A shotgun would have
So you
been
can, like,
towards the barrel,
get-
and I
You can get like a sooner view of mutations when they show up. You don't have to be super precise with this minigun. You can just sort of see how I set it up. The line was just sort of in line with that. As you can see here. Right. And so in that instance though, with like the crusher moving super quickly,
holy shit.
that is when you use a grenade, right? And so if anything gets here too quickly and you can't kill it with the minigun, just grenade. Not a problem.
There's my lucky
And again, you would just have one player standing right here, watching out. This is a map that's easier to do with bots than players most of the time because of the bots. So long as you stand still, right? The priority for the bots is the more you stand still, the more the bots shoot their guns, basically. So we just chill in one area.
Reloading.
Bots don't have to worry about following us around. We're just hanging out. and we're Gucci, you know what I mean?
Anyone?
Keep in mind that things can hit you through the fence if you're touching the fence, which is why we're out here. Because if you're too close to this fence, stinger attacks will splash through it, as well as wretches and tall boys can smack you through that fence. So just don't stand too close to that fence. You can climb on top of this, doesn't really matter. If you have a player who's like using a sniper rifle, he's probably looking this way, stay
Need to
vigilant.
reload.
A lot of times too, when stingers climb over that fence, they'll jump into this area here, and a sniper rifle will make short work of them, you know.
Down! Michael!
You can see how the wretch can't split through the fence, right?
Ammo! Anyone?
And that's it, and that's the diner. Yeah, pretty simple. These missions, not a whole lot extra to explain, just because of the holdout missions. But basically, again, it's just calling out your grenades, timing your pipe bombs when you need them, setting up properly with all your extra resources, and then just having your teammates look in the right direction, like assigning the job of just you and you. You look this way. You and you look this way. This player, you jump on the minigun when a mutation shows up.
Cover me! Reloading!
The minigun player typically should be in control of the grenades as well, because he's the player who has the information of like, oh crap, I'm not going to be able to kill this tall boy with a minigun. So sort of leave the grenading at first to the minigun player, because he'll make that call of, I can't do it with the minigun, jump off, throw a grenade, move on. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. More videos to come. In the future, we'll be getting Act 2 and things like that. And yeah, I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the future.